Well, it all started with a meeting with Eddie Filene and Roy Bergegren in Filene's basement in Boston, and we all decided this credit union idea has legs.
Dan is the consummate professional. He gains respect of absolutely every person that he comes in contact with, whether it be the CEO of our largest credit union, the manager of our smallest credit union. Dan just commands their respect.
He was the leader that put together the first multi-state collaboration for leagues in the country. It happened quite a bit in the last 10, 15 years, but back when Dan did it, it was a first. He showed the industry that it can be done, that credit unions can collaborate, they can develop scale, and share resources in a way that benefits individual credit unions and the trade association.
He'd be at a credit union event and having a conversation with the director of a $5 million credit union from some obscure city or town, and he connected with that person and made that person feel like what he or she was doing was extremely important. And it was important, but Dan made the person feel like they were important. And I think that was why he was so loved by the credit unions for so many years.
He is a very dedicated individual to the industry. And as such, Dan did all of that without fanfare. He always put himself at the end of the line with the members of the industry first. No matter wherever I would go throughout the country, people would always say, "Oh, you're from Massachusetts, please say hi to Dan." Dan's reputation is phenomenal. People respect what he has to say and what he's done.
Dan was able to help us get a parity provision to allow state chartered credit unions to have the same powers as federally chartered credit unions in the Commonwealth. And that made an enormous difference in terms of keeping the dual system alive and vibrant in Massachusetts. He had the ability to see around corners and anticipate what would be the best approach in any regulatory or advocacy effort that he was leading us on. Personally, he introduced me to golf, so I'll never forgive him for that, but he's that kind of guy that can just show a personal interest in you and help you develop yourself.
Dan has a number of accomplishments, but I think the one that comes to mind from my standpoint is his intense focus on building political relationships. Bonnie Frank chaired a very powerful committee when Dan was president. He was chair of the House Financial Services Committee. Elizabeth Warren was the architect of CFPB. So none of us may like the regulatory environment today, but we'd like it even less if it wasn't for Dan working to develop those very, very important relationships.
We would sit and talk with our senators and our congressmen, and I know that was a direct tribute to Dan. If he didn't make our visit, say he was meeting with one of the other states' representatives, they would always ask, "Where's Dan?" You know, when you think about all the hundreds of people on the Hill, and they're all looking for Dan Egan, I think that's tremendous.
Dan has kept us out of trouble, kept bad things from happening to the credit union world, not afraid to go to legislative and say, you know, this is what we need for the credit unions, or you cannot do this to the credit unions. We were glad to have him. You know, his golf game is not anywhere near as good as he proclaims it to be, but other than that, he's a pretty good guy.
I think Dan's greatest contribution to the stability of our financial system was back 25 years ago. That's when I was bank commissioner in Massachusetts, and we really had a crisis of confidence in the local banking system. Without his efforts to achieve a voluntary conversion of primary insurance from Massachusetts credit unions to federal share insurance, we would have had a much messier situation. And it was his courage and foresight that really allowed us to avoid a very bad outcome.
One of the challenges for the museum early on was to bring visibility to a national level. We also knew it was extremely important that if it was going to be a national museum, that we had to have board members representative of various parts of the country. Dan's relationships allowed us, and he was very instrumental in bringing some of the national leadership that was very important to the museum board. And I would say very important to the ultimate success that the museum has achieved so far.
Congratulations, Dan, on this award for outstanding leadership at the league level. Your career of political, educational, and community engagement has enriched the lives of millions of Americans, both within and outside the credit union movement.
Well, first I'd like to say that I was surprised that Dan Egan was eligible for an award. This comes as a complete shock. No, seriously. Dan is a tremendous individual, a class act, top-notch, a leader of leaders. So I would say hats off to Dan Egan and his wife Callie. They make a great pair. He has done a wonderful job. And keep up the dry sense of humor.
Hey, Dan Egan, Tom Brady here. Congratulations to you, man. Welcome to the Hall of Fame of the credit union movement. One day I hope to be able to join you. You know, we got some big games coming up. I still got to get some big wins, just like you did throughout your career. And we need a little help, unlike you, Dan. But anyway, my friend, good luck, congratulations, and all the best to you.
Well, my word, what can I say about Dan Egan that probably hasn't already been said and, you know, it maybe not be repeatable, actually. In all seriousness, I don't say this about many people, but this is the person that I would refer to as my mentor. And I love him for it. He just makes me laugh, and I'm gonna stop talking now or I'm gonna start crying.
Were it not for Dan, we would not be who we are today. And I, for one, am grateful, and he'll never know the contribution he made to my personal success and the success of many others in the movement. He has left a mark that will far survive all of us.
Running a state league is a privilege, it's an honor. Credit unions are an important part of many people's lives, and the values that credit unions have are an important part of the American story. And that is, believe me, an awesome place to be able to work and to operate in that environment. It gives you a feeling of great importance, it gives you a feeling of a true mission in life. Not only for the work you do, but the impact it has on so many people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Credit Union Foundation is proud to honor Daniel F. Egan, Jr. with the 2016 Herb Wegner Memorial Award for Outstanding Individual Achievement.